Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Railway Empire, Great Britain and Ireland Transport Revolution. So, I have gone ahead and put in all of those extra bits of signals and supply towers, everything else that we needed basically to complete the work that we were doing last time out. So you can see all this is now signalled through here. I've got supply towers in various locations on the lines to space everything out. What I've also done is connected up the hog farm just here into Leeds so that we can start producing meat. And then what I did was I reworked the connection over here. So I put the freight line on the outside running around here, ran that through here into this area here, and then I just deleted this line and then put it back in again to connect up just here, so that we've got a single freight connection that's not going to get messy or complicated, and that's how we've got a freight and passenger line running through into Leeds. What I've also done is, as we discussed, I've hooked up the apples here from Roberts Preserve around the back into Hull to save having to ferry those all the way from over here, and this will just serve these two towns instead, or these two cities, Newcastle and Middlesbrough. But I'm also keenly aware that even though we'll be supplying meat in there and they'll have apples, they're going to need an extra crop, an extra product to help promote growth in those cities. So what I did was I expanded our platform down here on Nolan Manor. This was just a single platform that ran off here, and that's our wheat platform here. I've expanded it and run a connection across here to join in at this end of Roberts Preserve so that we can then ship grain through to all three of these towns. It's a long route, but no matter where I look, it's going to be a long route, no matter which way I go. So, I mean, we could look at, taking wheat from here and bringing that down into Newcastle and possibly even Middlesbrough, but it's an enormous run all the way down to Hull. At least this way, it's a quick route to Hull, and it's not too bad to Middlesbrough. And it's Middlesbrough we need to concentrate on more, because Middlesbrough is the town is that we're going to put our steel mill into. So we need to make sure that that town grows fast, so that we can deliver 50 loads of steel from Middlesbrough to Newcastle. Now, again, this is an optional task, so it's not necessary to complete the scenario, but it will give us bonus points if we get this done, and hopefully push us towards a presidential rating at the end, which would be nice. So everything's kind of connected up now, signalled and towered and ready to run. We need to start allocating some trains. So let's see, where do we need to start? What I also want to do as well is I want to start buying some of the businesses in these areas. So I want to buy Hill Ranch if I can. I certainly want to buy the meat industry in Leeds, because I want to get that expanded as quickly as possible, because that's going to have to generate a lot of meat very, very fast to furnish 3 separate towns with meat, or at the very least to furnish Middlesbrough and Hull, on top of the city's own natural requirements for meat as well. So we need to get that meat industry up and running fast and upgrade it fast so that we can start generating large quantities of meats very, very quickly, so that the trains that run back and forth have got product to carry. It needs an upgrade to at least the 2nd level, maybe even the 3rd, and that depends whether or not we ship all the way up to Newcastle or not. So for us to be able to afford to do that, we're going to have to hammer the bonds, make sure we've got plenty of money, because now we have direct competition. The other AI opponents are in the game now, and so they will bid on things. While I was planning the track, and I had to let time run a little bit just to be able to afford to put some extra lines in, I had some innovation thing pop up on the skill tree, and of course I bid on it, and I just didn't think, because I'm so used to the AI not bidding against us, and then at the last second the AI started bidding, and the price went from 40,000 to 90,000 in the blink of an eye, because all the AI started bidding on it as well, and it was one that we needed to have because it was a 10% innovation point gain, and of course our character has the worst innovation rate of all of the characters, so we needed to be able to get that extra boost so we can unlock stuff faster. So if I try and buy one of these businesses, guaranteed the AI will bid against us and price us out if we're not careful. So we need to make sure we have a ton of cash on hand in case that price starts to skyrocket. So we're going to max out our bond, or take the maximum bond, which is like going to be about 6 million now. So let's do that now first. We've got this one here. We're going to pay that one off. That gives us 4.5 million. I'm actually going to take out both bonds, so I've got plenty of cash to spend. Let's buy this meat industry. And wait for the competing bids to pop in. There we go, there's the first one. And look at that, see, the price has gone up by 400,000 already. This is why we needed to have a lot of cash on hand to be able to do this. Not only just to buy it, but then to be able to upgrade it as well.
Slow. I have already bid.
Now, I can't upgrade it just yet because the town is still at a very low level, but when we get the chance, we will upgrade that. With Hull, I'm not going to bother upgrading those. What I am going to do is I'm going to buy the one here in Middlesbrough, because then I've got the chance to demolish that and put something else in instead. Maybe even put steel in there straight away, perhaps. I mean, there's no point, because it would be a good that would be produced and have nowhere to go. Oh, look at the price now. It's doubled. But at least we'll own it. We'll make money off it while it's generating income. And then,
I only wanted to drive up the price.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did do. We'll make some money off it. Certainly not as much money as we're going to pay for it, but we own it. And then we can demolish it to make way for something else that might be a bit more useful. Something that we can then ship back and forth between Newcastle and Hull, and maybe compensate things a little bit better. Maybe even put a meat industry in there. We could potentially run pigs, actually, in that way. That might be something we could think about doing, actually. And then Leeds could just service Manchester and Hull. That might be worth doing, actually. Let's do that. Let's demolish that business. So it's cost us 1.1 million to get rid of it, and then another 360. So it's cost us 1.4 million effectively to remove a business and put a new one in there, which is horrendously expensive. But it kind of needs to be done to get really good growth going in our towns, and we can just bring this across this way. Get that connected up. Let's shorten that run if we can. I've got to be careful again with the bridge thing. So I can do that. It's going to be an expensive route, but you know, it needs to go in. And then if we bring that down and along all the way along here, this is actually going to work out better for us trade-wise between our cities. So it's a very, very expensive way to set it up, but it will benefit us going forward. It's just a shame it's going to cost us so damn much to get set up. Of course, we've got a bridge right before the station again, so this is again going to have a neutral bit of track on the run up into the station itself, like that. That's okay. It's just a little bit of space lost on what we could potentially be using. So get that all lined up. Run that through there. This is where it starts getting all screwball again. So put one there, take that signal out. Put one there, take that one out. See, I think those are too close together. I'm going to take those out and those out, and then kind of split the difference a bit. Just there. The spacing gets really screwed up around bridges, and I'm a little concerned about the spacing over here as well, so I'm actually going to pull these ones back to here, and then pull these ones back a bit as well to there, like that. Try and get it to look a little bit better, and we'll stick a supply tower on this little bit of ground up here actually. Just there. Right, so we've now got hogs going back and forth between, going to Leeds and to Middlesbrough. We can get meat going back and forth between these towns, meat going back and forth between... Actually, we don't need to go back and forth that way because Leeds can take care of Hull, so that's okay. And it means it's less travel time as well, so the products will get there quicker. We should hopefully make money faster that way. We'll get apples going into Hull. We'll get apples going in that way, and we can still ship apples into Middlesbrough, and they won't have as big a demand for it now, but they'll still want apples. Even though it's not a main crop product, they'll still want it. So that'll help. So Middlesbrough will have meat, fruit as the two main things going in. On top of that, it'll have pigs, so that'll be 3 out of the 6, or the 5. We'll need that's 3 out of 5. We'll need a 4th good going in, which means we're going to need this wheat to go in there as well. It'll take a while to get there, but once it does get there, it'll kick in, and that'll help. And of course, we can also potentially, look at maybe shipping fish from here, bringing that route along this way and connecting up to the line that way. Really start pumping stuff in. How much would it cost me to do that, actually? Just out of interest. This could be a very expensive connection. If I were to bring this in, say, like this. Actually, no, that wants to be on that line, doesn't it? Like that. But it needs to bend off a little bit so there's space for the other line. Yeah, that is not going to work. So we'd have to have a tunnel, by the look of it. We could maybe reposition the line a little bit around here, try and limit some of that. Maybe even bring that up a touch along here. Do that. Gradient's not too bad. It's a very long line again, but it might be a necessary connection. How much is that going to cost? It's only 315,000. That's not too bad, actually. It's not too bad at all. It's a very long line, so we're going to need to run at least 2 trains through there, at least, to make sure that they go in. And again, I'm not too worried about bumping up Newcastle, because Newcastle doesn't need to grow too much. It needs to grow, but not too big. It's Middlesbrough that needs to grow so that we can get that steel mill in. And then deliver the steel to Newcastle. Because Newcastle, I'm guessing, will have a factory in there that will require the steel. I'm guessing that's how it's going to work out. We'll see in a moment. Let's build this connection. Let's run this along here. Yeah, I was worried about that. It's not going to connect. Take that out like that. So yeah, that's going to have to go in like that. There we go. That's what needs to happen. And then that can come off the top there. Okay. There we go. Now we're sorted. Run this all the way along here. This is a very, very long passing line. Very expensive passing line, but money isn't really an issue for us because we make it so quickly at the moment because we've got such a strong freight setup that, you know, we can afford to spend big because we know that within a very short space of time we'll make back very big as well, and be able to pay off our we took out 10 million. We'll be able to pay that off pretty quickly. I might even pay one of them off straight away once we've got all the trains up and running. Depends how much we've got left over, I suppose. So this is going to need a bit of a tweak over here. So instead of the signals where they are, we'll move them forward. Take those ones out. And now that spacing I was worried about can now be much more comfortable. All the way through here. There we go. That's a little bit more comfortable. Let's do our auto signalling along here. There's going to be a lot of signals. And bridges as well, so we're going to have to check each set. You can see there straight away we've got a mishmash. They're all good. There, it's gone very, very short for no reason at all because there's a bridge. I don't know what it is about bridges that just automatically seem to screw up signal spacing. It's all okay around here. This is all okay. That's all okay. I'm going to need supply towers, and I think what I might well do because it's such a long line, I'm toying with the idea of putting one at each end. I think I might need to. Yeah, let's put one. I suppose I could put one halfway and that should do the trick. Let's do that instead. Let's put one on the end there. I don't know. Are they going to go all the way there and then there? Let's plonk it there. We can always come back in and reposition if we need to later. Right. I think we're ready to start dropping some trains into this new setup that we have. These new cities. Get them upgraded. Let me just check what that staff member is. It's an analyst. Yeah, now we want this to decrease Don Lorenzo's share price because we need to buy Don Lorenzo's company. Unfortunately, the analyst does tend to get a bit screwy sometimes. So Don Lorenzo's company currently valued at 56 million. It'll still keep going up and up and up. But we're looking for that share price to dip. I might just use this money to buy a ton of shares now that we've got the analyst. It'll take a little while to kick in. So let's start putting some trains in. So let's start with the important ones. The hog farm. Oh, I don't want a Philadelphia. I want a Jenny Lind. And one from Hill Ranch into Middlesbrough. There we go. I'm going to duplicate both of these trains. Which means I'm probably going to need to buy Hill Ranch. Get it while it's cheap. And again, we'll make money off this as well, now that it's feeding two meat businesses that we own. And look at that, we didn't even get a competing bid.
No one else placed a bid.
No competition. I'm happy with that. That's very good. Let's upgrade that business straight away. And clone that train as well. There we go. So we've got two meat trains going to both cities. Let's get A fruit train going into there with a Jenny Lind, and we'll get one going that way as well. Let's get a freight train
Perhaps my spy should leave a little something
running back and
behind
forth.
next time.
That's good. That's actually going on the right line without the diversion. Change that to freight. Again, we want a Jenny Lind on that. Keep the engineer free for now. I want to save that engineer. I'm going to hire him and then release him like that. So he's on our books now. Let's quickly check the market of Don Lorenzo's company. See, the share price has rocketed up, 60,000 since we looked. The analyst, I think, is perhaps bugged. I don't think the analyst works properly. Every time I've hit, decrease someone's share values, this have rocketed up. So I'm wondering if maybe the code is the wrong way round. I've never tried to raise their share price. Maybe I should do next time and see what happens. But that share price is now, what, 70,000 higher than it was when I hired the analyst. And it's rocketing up all the time, look. So there is something wrong with the analyst, I think. Let's get a wheat train going from Nolan Manor all the way up to Middlesbrough. This is going to be a bit more time consuming to get done, so I need to make sure that I'm going out on this line and then coming back on that line. There we go. Set that as freight train. I could have left it as automatic, but I'm going to set it as freight just to be sure. And I'm going to hire an engineer on this train. And I'm also going to... Oh, I just got rid of the engineer, didn't I? There we go. I'm also going to duplicate that train because it's going to take a while to get there. Howard Preserve near Norwich. There's not anywhere near anything useful to us. So, no. We'll decline that. Actually, I'll let that train run through a little bit further. It's going to train run from there into Hull. Let's get a train running from Hull to Leeds. And again, this is on the wrong lines here, so this needs to go out on that line and then come back on that line. Set that as freight. There we go. Don Lorenzo's trying to buy our company. Sneaky, sneaky. I'll save those points. We're up to 128 innovation points. 25 per month now. That's a lot healthier than it was earlier. Let's check his share price. Is it please changed? Oh yeah, his share price is plummeted now. Now's the time for us to go in and buy a good chunk of his shares before that price rebounds a bit. By 20% more of his company.
How many times do I have to say it?
His price has just gone down even more. Look,
I have to snap.
everyone's suddenly buying my shares. So maybe the analyst just took a while to kick in. Where's that wheat train? There it is. So we'll clone that. Get a second one of those running. Oh, fish train. We want to get the fish train up and running. Forgot about the fish train. Getting blackmailed. That's actually quite cheap. Do I want to pay the amount? Yes. Always pay the amount. I don't want to screw up my businesses. No, we're not even in Ireland. There's no point going for the Dublin business. Put a Jenny Lind on that. And again, that will get duplicated as the train goes a bit further down the line. Got a spy. Excellent. We'll steal from Don Lorenzo. Why not? Someone's growing. London grows. What's London's population now? 120,000. Manchester's 150 and still growing. Middlesbrough hasn't changed yet. Not expecting it to just yet. Newcastle hasn't changed. Look, they've got a steel warehouse, so we don't need to worry about steel hitting a high... You know, because the demand for steel doesn't usually kick in until about 100,000 people or so. We don't have to worry about that. Northampton's about to hit 100,000. Nottingham's stalled at 85.
Keep your spies on a leash.
Oxford's up to 73. Birmingham's nearly 110. Dover's going down. I forgot all about Dover. Are we even shipping... No, we're not even shipping meat in there, look. We need to set up a meat connection down there. Middlesbrough grows already. Excellent. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see growth on the Middlesbrough line. Where are my trains that are going out this way? There's one of them. I'm going to clone... Actually, no, I don't need to clone it because I've got the fish going in. I need to clone the fish train. There it is. Oh, that's struggling for speed. Bit of a gradient. Let's stick an engineer on that train just to improve reliability. I need to put some maintenance sheds on these stations, these new stations as well. Another analyst. Ooh. A chance to destabilize Don Lorenzo's company again. I don't have any money left, which doesn't help. Expensive, but going to be worth it. Don Lorenzo will decrease. Because the price did go down, the price rocketed up, but that might just be part of the scenario, and then it did drop away again eventually. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. What's his price at the moment? It's gone back up to 53. Shares are still not that expensive at the moment. 290,000. Let's let our money go up and wait for his hopeful value to dip slightly. Right, we're starting to ship alcohol now into Newcastle. We weren't earlier because
my spy informed me that you need to urgently clean up your research department.
Because they had
Those secret construction
a
plans
cider
are
business
lying
already, so they already
all
had
over
a
the
small
place.
stock of cider. Demand for it. But that's now changed. Let's expand our meat businesses. Oh, that city hasn't grown enough yet, so I can't expand that one yet. What else do we need to get going into Leeds? A lot of everything, really. Could do with maybe trying to get some apples going in there as well. Do I have trade going back and forth? I do, don't I? So they're getting the cider. Yeah, it's going to be the quickest way to get apples in there without messing around. Again, we'll make sure they're on the right lines. So, going out on that line, coming back in on that line.
I hope you don't mind if I go into competition with your station.
Someone trying to encroach into our territory. Oh yeah, he is, look. He suddenly just rocketed all the way up. from down here all the way up into Northampton. Wow, that's again in Ireland. That's a
Unfortunately,
big sudden
one of your
lurch
trains
forward.
didn't make it.
Another station that needs a maintenance shed. All these trains are breaking down. Oh, no, they've got one. I put one in Middlesbrough, didn't I? Yes, I put one in Newcastle. Yes. I'm actually going to put one in here as well. I'm definitely going to put one in here. That's a very long run that those trains are on, so I want them to fix themselves at every opportunity. Same with the sea farm. That's a very long journey over there. Middlesbrough is up to 22.5 and growing. Good stuff. So we need to keep an eye on that. As soon as that gets up to 40,000, we need to put a steel mill in there. Let's check on the price of Don Lorenzo's shares. Oh, 357,000. What? They need to come down again. And quick. Because that's horrific. We could do with getting some passenger services up and running as well. Try and capitalise on this additional services that we put in up here. So let's make that an express line. Make sure it's on the right line. So express wants to go out on that line, and then it wants to come back. Actually, no, let's continue the route through first of all. So it's on that line, then it needs to be on this line from Middlesbrough. It needs to be going out on that line into Newcastle, then coming back on that line, and then that's automatically routing it back this way, but I'll stick the fourth waypoint in there anyway, just to confirm it. And we want the Firefly. Points. The Iron Duke. New freight train. Good tractive power. Sure, we don't have another passenger, another express train. That's 28 and 39. That's 31 and 43. Oh, that's definitely faster. Yeah, we'll get the
Isn't
Iron
technological progress a wonderful thing?
new train for us to use. And we use that up here, in these lines up here, I think. Let's clone that passenger train a couple of times. I also want to get some passenger services running from Leeds to Middlesbrough. They're on the right lines on the inside. That's good. Oh no, that's the freight line, isn't it? Yeah, they want to be on there. Going out on that line and then coming back on that line. There we go. In with the Firefly. What else is missing? Wheat is missing. Alright, we can run a wheat train into Leeds. And again, make sure it's on the right lines. And we'll put an Iron Duke on that one. There we go, some apples going in. That'll help. What's Middlesbrough up to? 25. Slowly growing. I like Hull.
I think it's a good idea to invest in you.
That's a point. I forgot to invest in Don Lorenzo, didn't I? Oh, wow, look at his company's value has plummeted, although his shares are still ridiculously expensive. And going right back up again, horrifically expensive. Oh, come on, share price. How can his shares be worth so much when his company's worth $5 million less? Sometimes the share system just confuses the hell out of me
A
at
small
times.
purchase on the stock market.
Everyone's suddenly trying to buy my company.
Invest a little in your train's reliability.
Oh, look at this. Those prices, those share prices just going up and up and up. Every time I try and get close to getting enough cash, the price just goes up that little bit more. Speed things up a bit. All these Irish businesses. Price wavered a little. Is it going
Another
down?
station seemed reasonable in this city.
No.
You don't have to merge with a company necessarily. If you hold all shares of a
54% of my
company,
company is
it will
being
not get in your
owned
way anymore.
elsewhere at the moment. That's why I'm not
Instead,
earning so much
you
money.
will gain a
Oh
regular
god, no,
return.
19% bought by.
Oh,
The AI is
with such delicate
brutally
little
just
things,
trying to steal
I
my
just
company from
can't
underneath
say
me.
No.
I could end up not making any money at this rate. Well, not much money. Still make money, but not as much as I could or should be making. There's that other passenger train on this line. There it is. The trains are breaking down. Oh, this one. Yeah, I never put maintenance sheds there, did I? London should be, but there's nothing going into London. I'm not too worried about Dover. I've got bandits. I'm gonna attack Don Lorenzo. Where is Don Lorenzo's network? That's the dock. Don Lorenzo's down here then, isn't he? Alright, so let's nobble him going into Northampton. Steel Mail, Northampton. And where else? Southampton or Yeovil. I mean, look at his network is nothing. I mean, he's got some decent, you know, amount of track, but all of his towns are basic. Oh, here comes the bidding war.
Excuse me, but could you keep out of this?
Let's
You're
nobble
driving
him
the price
in
up.
Southampton as well. We'll do passengers going to Southampton, I think. There we go. So hopefully those bandits will hit, and they will hurt his business as well if they succeed. Which will then hopefully drive the price down a little bit. 28,000 in Middlesbrough, so we're getting closer. Bit by bit. Slowly getting there. Leeds is growing now, that's good. No
I'm
suitable
gonna
freight
send your
for
bandits back to you in tiny pieces.
the pig train. Yeah, I'll buy that. Because there'll come a time when I'll need that wood going into Newcastle, I think, as an extra, and maybe even Middlesbrough.
A very good offer, actually. Why didn't I place a bid?
A chance to generate some extra income off a local business. Let's put a security guard on there. Why is there no suitable freight? Do they just not need meat? Oh, I never upgraded this town, did I? Because I never had the chance. Now I can. Look how much pigs they've got. Yeah, definitely want to expand that. So we can start shipping meat out. Hull needs to grow as well, so their meat requirements will go up. I need to start shipping freight back and forth this way as well. So this is the freight line, so out on that line, back in on that line, set that as freight, and I'll stick an iron duke on that.
I'm gonna send your bandits back to you in tiny pieces.
Got him. Barnstaple. No.
I'll pay you off soon.
Oh man, my company's just getting swallowed whole at this rate. This is ridiculous. I think I put the AI on very hard, if I remember rightly, and I'm starting to regret it now because there's going to be nothing left of my company at this rate. Look at that. 45, 49, 69, 79. 88% of my company is owned by the other 3 players. That's ridiculous. I'm going to keep nibbling away at Don Lorenzo. Really need to start, capitalising on these other towns now. And there goes another 12%. That's it. That's 100% of my company owned by everyone else, I think. I mean, no one owns 100%, so they can't push me out, but 45, 75, 81. Yeah, that's 100% of my company gone. So I'm going to lose a profit now, which is frustrating. Oh, and Don Lorenzo's shares have suddenly dropped dramatically in price just after I invested money. Of course they did. Oh, because the bandits. Oh, I'm stupid. I should have waited. Let the bandit effect take over. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Right, let's bump Hull up. What the Hull need? They need wheat. Another wheat train up and running. Right, where are my main trains? I want an engineer on that one. And where's the other one? There it is. So we've got an engineer. Let's put a stoker on there as well. There we go. Some big speed boosts. Keep those goods trickling into Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough is now up to 31,000 people. Got an analyst. Don Lorenzo's going to get hit again. You can tell we're getting towards the end of the scenario. It's suddenly got incredibly hectic. Money flying out in all directions. Yeah, we need Hull to improve as a city. Yeah. Once that wheat goes in, that town will start to grow, which means their meat consumption will go up, which means the trade going back and forth between these towns will improve. Leeds is improving quite nicely now. It's going to be able to start shipping meat to... That's Hill Ranch. Where's my freight train coming back? What's it bringing back? Is it bringing back alcohol? It is. Yeah, because there's no need for fabric or for planks yet. But there will be going forward. Was that an engineer? It was. Right, where's one of my fish trains? Actually, I only need one, so let's bin this one off. Let's bin off the duplicate. He's already got an engineer. put one with a speed boost on instead. Find a different train that's going to want maintenance improvements. There we go. Hull is growing. Good, good, good. We have some points to spend. Increase the number of passengers in every station, yes. Right, let's take a look at Don Lorenzo's shares. Please be going down. Oh, very cheap at the moment. I wish I had more money. Right, I want 15% of his company with this purchase. And hopefully the price won't rocket up by the time I've got enough money. It is starting to go back up again. 4.5. He's just bought... Someone must have traded some of our shares. 4.4, 4.5. We're close. Come on, quick, 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 before the price goes up. 3%. Yeah, someone's dumped a load of our shares to make some money. Oh, wow, his value's just rocketed up again, look.
There are ways and means to influence stock prices.
So who owns the most of our company?
A quite useful employee
Don Lorenzo
just
still.
applied.
We'll get those
regarding
shares
that
back when we buy him out.
Sure enough, this is
Another
up to
analyst.
You, if you want to resort to such practices.
I can't keep up with these analysts. But if I don't hire them when they come up, then they just disappear and I lose the opportunity. Got an accountant. I've already got an accountant who gets on very well with everything, so there's no point with that. Hull is still growing good. Middlesbrough's growing. Newcastle is still stagnant, but that's fine. Did I put freight between... I must have done. No, I didn't. I didn't get any freight going back and forth. Oh, of course no, because the meat
can't harm anyone,
was from Middlesbrough was going to go to Hull. It's being covered by Leeds. Leeds is growing as well. I suppose really we should look at maybe giving Newcastle a nudge. They need fish or wheat as well. Let's try and route in. Oh, look at that. That's going to be awkward. I'll have to go to the larger station with a longer reach. Can I get away with a small... No. I'm going to need a larger station to actually get inside.
Practice shows that my station is enough for this business.
Which is going to be the easier way to get in. Along the bottom or around the top. See how much it would cost to go in this way. Ah, you know what? If I loop through there, instead of going in the bottom, going that way. Cut through like that. Bring that down at a more sensible angle. Kind of want to try and loop around there so I don't pay for a tunnel if I can. 2% gradient works. Drop that down a bit. Keep the line as cheap as I can. And switch to that platform there. Yeah, let's do that. And then, again, I can split off here. Run along the bottom. Get this signalled in. Okay, it's spending money to make money. We didn't really need to worry too much about Newcastle, but you know, if we do increase Newcastle's population, then it increases their consumption of meat, which increases the trade from Middlesbrough, which just makes more money, and also helps Middlesbrough grow a little bit quicker as well. So it's kind of a no-brainer, really. Spend the money now and reap the rewards going forward. Again, I'm going to plonk this kind of in the middle. Let's put a maintenance building on there. And let's actually check out the new Iron Duke. Because we haven't really looked at this new train yet. Pretty cool. Alright, I only need one train on that line. So some money will have gone down, hopefully, on Don Lorenzo's share price. It's still cheap. Are they falling? Holding steady.
Your station was so lonely. Now it has some company.
Price is starting to go back up again. Yeah, just buy another 5%. So we need % more.
Oh, don't
we're getting
make
slandered
such
in the press
a fuss. A bit of bad press never hurt anyone.
I need to save up some money. Make sure I've got money on hand for the steel mill. We're very, very close now. 38,000 people here. Look at the fulfillment of demand, 83%. Because we're pumping goods in here like crazy. They need just fabric and beef at the moment. They're the only goods that we don't have going in there. Newcastle grows straight away. Excellent stuff. So their meat consumption will go up, which means good news for Middlesbrough, able to ship more product back and forth. I'll let them bid over something in Norwich that I have no interest in. And isn't going to make them any money because there's nothing connected there. Oh, Don Lorenzo suddenly just dropped 11%, bought 11% of my shares. Brewery in Belfast, again, it's nowhere near me. It's of no value to me. While they're bidding away, I'm going to see if I can maybe pick up... they've gone up again. Another analyst. It's time to hammer Don Lorenzo again. There we go. And we're pretty much out of time, so we will resume hostilities with Don Lorenzo next time out. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Railway Empire, Great Britain and Ireland, Transport Revolution very soon.